Today we will continue with the same topic what we had seen in the last lecture, professional negligence. I will just revise a few points from last lecture. We will just see what we had seen in the last lecture. Professional negligence, yes, from here professional negligence. So act of omission we have seen. So omission means to omit something which should have been done by a reasonable man, means in the treatment part of the patient what a doctor is supposed to do. If that doctor has not performed that thing or that procedure, that will come under omission, act of omission. And act of commission means something that should not have been done. Act of commission means that should not have been done. If it is done either intentionally or by mistake by any doctor in the treatment part of the patient, it will be considered as act of commission. So thing that should not be done, if it is done, it is act of commission. And if anything should have been done by the doctor, but if it is omitted or not done while doing the treatment of the patient, it is act of omission. So we have seen definition of professional negligence. It is a lack of reasonable care or skill or willful negligence on the part of medical practitioner in the treatment of patient. And that would either cause danger to the health or life of the patient. Then okay, damage. We have seen the definition of damage. So damage may be because of negligence. The damage may be physical, mental or financial. Then to prove the negligence, it should be proved that, so when any case of professional negligence stands in the court, you will have to prove that the doctor owed him a duty conformed to a particular standard of conduct. The doctor has breached that duty and patient suffered the actual damage because of that negligence. Then doctor's conduct was direct or proximate cause to the damage. Okay, this thing also we have seen a type of cases in which a claims for negligence can be made against the doctor if the anesthetic drug has been used in the fatal dose. So during surgery we give anesthesia. So if that anesthetic drug has been used in the fatal dose, will be considered as negligence. Then amputation of wrong finger, failure to do x-ray in suspected fracture, then use of wrong chemicals or using the wrong medicines, too tight plaster that can cause compression of the vessels or compression of the nerves. Then lack of care in certificates of mental illness, again very important thing, issuing the medical certificates. Then civil negligence we have seen when okay, I think we had completed up to here. Now we will see different parts of negligence. So civil negligence, when a patient or a case of in case of death, relatives sue the doctor in civil court for compensation for injury or death due to negligence of doctor. So this will come under civil cases. This case will run under the civil court when a patient or in case of any death, relatives will sue the doctor in civil court for compensation for injury or death due to negligence of the doctor. And when a doctor brings a civil suit, opposite to that, when a doctor brings a civil suit for realization of his professional fees from patient or relatives of the patient who refuses to pay on the grounds of malpractice, means it can happen that patient at the time of paying the bill, the patient has been recovered from the hospital and is about to be discharged, and now the bill is to be paid in the hospital. But at this time the relatives, patient or his relatives make a scene that the doctor has not performed all his duties and has not given the proper treatment, and we will not pay the fees, like that. So the doctor can bring a civil suit for realization of his professional fees from patient or his relatives who refuse to pay on the grounds of malpractice. Then failure in regard to the contractual obligations, whatever things they have been decided at the time of admission of the patient or starting the treatment, if there is any breach of the contract, if the contractual obligations have not been conducted or performed. Then diagnosis, failure in diagnosis, x-ray has not been done, ultrasonography has not been advised, or any mistake in the diagnosis part of the patient. Treatment, if dangerous drugs have been used, if the patient has been unduly exposed to radiation, undue exposure to the radiation which has caused damage to the body of the patient, then issuing the certificates will again come under legal issues. Then Workmen's Compensation Act, according to this Workmen's Compensation Act, you have written, I think you have written this act in your journal, you can just go through it. Workmen's Compensation Act, that is fitness or unfitness of worker, issuing the certificate like if the patient, that person is fit for that job or unfit for that job. It can cause some legal issues. Then injury while work, yes, if in the industry or any factory, if any injury occurs to the worker while doing his job or duty, there can be legal issues. Then compensation for injuries and losses, and malingering by worker. Okay, I will not explain you right now what is malingering, that we'll see when we'll go further, because malingering is a separate very small topic. I will tell you, it is asked as a 2-mark question, I will explain you now. So these all will come under civil negligence. These all the cases will come under civil cases. Now very important is criminal negligence, or which professional negligence, which cases of professional negligence will come under criminal cases. That is wrong diagnosis. If the doctor is not able to diagnose the disease correctly, if there is wrong diagnosis, will come under criminal negligence. Gross negligence means such a mistake cannot be performed by a doctor. A doctor cannot do such a mistake. Such a gross mistake or gross negligence can lead to the certain criminal case of criminal negligence. Then gross carelessness means not maintaining the hygiene, not doing the dressings under aseptic precautions, or so many things. So while giving the injection, if there is any abscess because of the infection, like this. So gross carelessness, where the doctor or his staff has not taken care of his patient and lead to damage to the patient. Then anesthetic in the fatal dose, amputation of wrong finger, we have already seen this. Failure to do x-ray in case of suspected fracture, use of wrong chemicals while dressings and all. Then too tight plasters will cause compression of vessels and nerves, causing either gangrene or paralysis of the affected limb. The lack of care in certificates of mental ill, we have seen all these things. They will come under criminal negligence. Then criminal abortion, too long tourniquet, and administering the wrong blood. Means if that patient is receiving some blood transfusion, and if the blood group is not matched, and it has caused so many serious life-threatening complications because of administration of wrong blood, it will also lead to criminal negligence. And instruments or sponge in the abdomen, so any small instrument, even forceps, scissor like that, or sponge, if it has been left by mistake in the abdomen, it will also come under criminal negligence. And this one term we had used here, malingering. This term we had used, malingering. We will see what is this malingering. So malingering is feigning a disease, means the patient is, that person is actually not ill, but still he is making a show, or he is just mimicking that he is having some illness, and looking for some benefits out of that. So if the patient is not, that person is not ill really, and is just complaining falsely of some illness, that is done generally in case of army, navy, or for leaves. Army, navy, or for leaves, means any person working in the army or navy, and he wants to have leave, he wants to go home, maybe for 6 months, 1 year, that person has not got any leave. So what he will do, he will tell his seniors that he is having some illness. So in army, navy, he will make a scene of some illness and will ask for the leave. Another, workers for compensation, means if any accident happens in the industry that may or may not have happened, the person, that worker will make a scene that he has suffered from that accident in the industry and he needs compensation. म्हणजे कामावर फॅक्टरीमध्ये किंवा एखाद्या कारखान्यामध्ये काम करताना मला ऑन ड्युटी कामावर असताना काहीतरी इजा झाली आणि त्याच्या बदल्यात मला कंपेन्सेशन नुकसान भरपाई मिळाली पाहिजे, याच्यासाठी तो माणूस कोर्टात जातो आणि मग तिथं काहीतरी खोटे नाट्य मार लागल्याचं किंवा काहीतरी सिरियस जखम झाल्याचं कोर्टाला दाखवतो. देन असॉल्टेड पर्सन म्हणजे ज्याच्यावर हल्ला झालेला आहे किंवा कोणीतरी त्याला मारहाण केलेली आहे, म्हणजे प्रत्यक्षात अगदी थोडंसं काहीतरी फक्त एखादी तोंडात मारलेली असते, 1-2 फटके मारलेले असतात, पण तो पोलिसांसमोर जातो कंप्लेंट करायला आणि पोलिसांना सांगतो की याने मला खूप मारलं, काठीने मारलं, इथे मारलं, तिथे मारलं, आणि मग काहीतरी अंगावर खोट्या नाठ्या जखमा करून घेतो किंवा काहीतरी अशी निशाणी वगैरे बनवून घेतो स्वतःच. सो कशासाठी, तर समोरच्या माणसाने मला खूप मारले, त्याला जास्त शिक्षा झाली पाहिजे आणि त्याच्याविरुद्ध केस झाली पाहिजे त्याच्यासाठी. अँड प्रिझनर्स टू अवॉइड हार्ड वर्क, अगेन दिस थिंग हॅपन्स इन केस ऑफ जेल. म्हणजे जेलमध्ये आपल्याला कोणी हार्ड वर्क द्यायला नको, हार्ड ड्युटी द्यायला नको, याच्यासाठी पण तो माणूस असा शो करू शकतो की मला खूप काही जास्त लागलेलं आहे. सो यू गॉट व्हॉट इज दिस टर्म मॅलिंगरिंग. Malignering means that person is not having actual much serious illness or injury, but is just making a scene of such a serious injury to get the benefit. So feigns a disease in case of army or navy employees, and workers for getting the compensation from their owner. Then assaulted person, assaulted person so that he म्हणजे त्याचं ज्याचं कोणावर त्याला राग असेल किंवा ज्याच्या कोणाबरोबर त्याची थोडीफार मारामारी झालेली असेल, त्याला जास्तीत जास्त शिक्षा होण्यासाठी तो असा शो करू शकतो. अँड प्रिझनर्स टू अवॉइड द हार्ड वर्क. सो इन दिस केस अ डॉक्टर शूड हॅव केअरफुल वॉच फॉर सम पिरियड. म्हणजे असं होतं की खूप लागले असं दाखवण्यासाठी तो दवाखान्यामध्ये क्लिनिकमध्ये येताना लंगडत येतो, काहीतरी खूप दुखतं असं काहीतरी नाटक करतो आणि सगळा रिपोर्ट वगैरे तयार झाला, डॉक्टरनी तसं लिहून दिलं की बाहेर जाताना मस्त एकदम छान हेल्दी माणसासारखा चालत जातो. सो अ डॉक्टर शुड कीप आय ऑन सच पेशंट इफ यू आर सस्पेक्टिंग सच malingering. So malingering is just making a scene so that a doctor will feel that, or that employer or that officer will feel that that person is having really some serious illness. That is called as malingering. So you can write it in short with examples. Another short topic asked as a 2-mark question is contributory negligence. Contributory negligence is also asked as a 2-mark short answer question. So contributory negligence is, the name only tells you, contributory means both of them are responsible, doctor as well as patient. Negligence is on the side of doctor as well as from the patient. So doctor is expected to foresee that the patient may harm himself and warn him accordingly. So the patient didn't give the correct history, means while taking the case or while taking all the details of the patient, it can happen that the patient doesn't give the history correctly. That's why diagnosis can go wrong and eventually treatment can also go wrong. So patient, if not giving the history correctly and the doctor is making mistake because of that lack of details of the history during case taking, the doctor is not only guilty for that, it will be considered as contributory negligence. So patient not giving the history correctly, then patient fails to give opportunity to doctor to examine the case. Means it can happen that patient म्हणतो नाही काय तपासायची गरज नाही, डॉक्टर द्या तुम्ही तशाच गोळ्या किंवा द्या तुम्ही तशीच औषधं. So patient fails to give opportunity to doctor to examine the case. If the patient is not examined properly because the patient is not allowing the doctor to examine himself, so it can make some mistakes in the diagnosis and ultimately selection of the simile or giving the treatment. So the patient fails to give opportunity to doctor to examine the case, and patient didn't follow the instruction given by the doctor regarding certain investigation test, certain drugs and dietary regimens if have not been followed by the doctor. So I just give you example. डॉक्टरांनी पेशंटला तपासलं, सगळं व्यवस्थित ट्रीटमेंट प्रिस्क्रिप्शन दिलं, सगळं दिलं आणि पेशंटला काही इन्स्ट्रक्शन दिल्या की बाबा हे खाऊ नका, ते खाऊ नका, आहाराबद्दल काही इन्स्ट्रक्शन दिल्यात आणि गोळ्या सगळ्या समजून सांगितल्यात पेशंटला, अशा खायच्या, ह्या अशा खायच्या, ह्या उपाशीपोटी खायच्या, ह्या रात्री खायच्या. पण पेशंटनी डॉक्टरांच्या सूचनेप्रमाणे जर गोळ्या खाल्ल्या नाहीत, औषधं घेतली नाहीत किंवा डाएट फॉलो केला नाही, फॉर एक्झाम्पल डायबिटीजच्या पेशंटला आपण सांगतो गोड खाऊ नका, साखर खाऊ नका, चहा पिऊ नका, कुठलेही गोड पदार्थ खाऊ नका, पण पेशंट काही फॉलो करत नाही. डॉक्टरांच्या गोळ्या घेतो पण डायटरी ॲडवाईस अजिबात फॉलो करत नाही. त्याच्यामध्ये चूक कोणाची? पेशंटची सुद्धा चूक. सो व्हॉट इज कॉन्ट्रिब्युटरी नेग्लिजन्स? नेग्लिजन्स इज बाय पेशंट ॲज वेल ॲज डॉक्टर. सो डॉक्टर इज एक्सपेक्टेड टू फोरसी दॅट द पेशंट मे हार्म हिमसेल्फ अँड वॉर्न हिम अकॉर्डिंगली. So patient not giving the history correctly, patient doesn't allow doctor to examine, to do the clinical examination, and patient didn't follow the instruction given by the doctor, what we call it as auxiliary line of treatment along with the medicine. The patient is not doing the investigation that doctor has advised, patient is not following the instruction given regarding the drugs, and patient is not following the dietary restrictions or dietary advice given by the patient, and ultimately ending with doing some harm to him. So here the patient cannot sue the doctor because he himself has not followed the instruction given by the doctor. Then another short 2-mark question is vicarious responsibility. So this vicarious responsibility is liability that exists in spite of absence of blameworthy conduct on the part of master. This is a bit difficult to understand. I will just give you a simple example. Master is responsible for negligent act of his servants. I will just explain both the two sentences given under vicarious responsibility. You may not understand anything. I will just explain in simple words. एखाद्या हॉस्पिटलमध्ये सिनियर डॉक्टर एखाद्या हॉस्पिटलचे ओनर असतात आणि त्याच्या हाताखाली ज्युनियर डॉक्टर्स किंवा तिथे ड्युटी करणारे डॉक्टर्स किंवा सिम्पल सिस्टर किंवा वॉर्ड बॉय वगैरे असतात ते, आणि ते सगळे डॉक्टरांनी दिलेले इन्स्ट्रक्शन फॉलो करतात. तर आता समजा डॉक्टरांनी एखाद्या सिस्टरला सांगितलं की ह्या पेशंटला 4 नंबरच्या बेडच्या पेशंटला अमुक अमुक इंजेक्शन दे. त्या सिस्टरनी त्या पेशंटला इंजेक्शन दिलं, पण त्या इंजेक्शनमुळे जर त्या काही पेशंटला त्रास झाला तर हू इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल? इंजेक्शन दिले सिस्टरनी, तर ती सिस्टर रिस्पॉन्सिबल आहे का त्याला? नाही. द पर्सन और द डॉक्टर हू हॅज गिवन instructions or notes or orders to that sister to give the injection. That is vicarious responsibility. So master is responsible for the negligent act of his servant. लक्षात आलं? तर कुठल्या हॉस्पिटलमध्ये डॉक्टर इन्स्ट्रक्शन देऊन गेलेत, ऑर्डर्स देऊन गेलेत, आणि त्या ऑर्डर्स त्या सिस्टर स्टाफने किंवा त्यांच्या ज्युनियर डॉक्टरने फॉलो केल्या, आणि नंतर पेशंटला जर काही त्रास झाला त्याच्यामुळे, सो that will be considered as vicarious responsibility, and the person who has given the orders or who has written the orders will be responsible, and not the person who has actually done that treatment. Got? That will come under vicarious responsibility. So here we have finished nearly all the topics of medical ethics, medical etiquettes and laws and all regarding the medical practice. So I will just revise in short what we have seen in this big topic. One second. Okay, medical ethics. From here we have started with medical ethics chapter. It is a very big section. So medical ethics, it is the subject related with moral principles for members of medical profession, and this medical ethics subject teaches us how the doctor should behave with each other, means doctor relationship, how a doctor should deal with his patients, that is doctor patient relationship, and what are the duties of a doctor towards the state or society, that is doctor state relationship. So the aim of this subject medical ethics is to honor and maintain the noble tradition of medical profession. We have seen all these. He should not charge the doctor or his blood relatives. Then medical etiquettes, it is the conventional laws and customs of courtesy which are generally followed between the members of same profession. Then Declaration of Geneva, we have seen all these heads. Declaration of Geneva, what are the duties of a doctor towards each other, towards the patient, towards the society and all. Then duties of doctor in general, we have seen. Duties of doctor to the sick, we have seen, and duties of doctor to each other. Disciplinary control, in that one very important 2-mark question is there, professional misconduct. So conduct on the part of a medical practitioner during practice which will be disgraceful and dishonorable, म्हणजे आपल्या व्यवसायाची प्रतिमा मलिन होईल, डॉक्टर या वैद्यकीय क्षेत्राची प्रतिमा मलिन होईल असं जर काही कृत्य घडलं एखाद्या डॉक्टरांकडून, दॅट विल बी प्रोफेशनल मिसकंडक्ट. And it can lead to the punishment if such a misconduct is proved, and the concerned authority or governing authority like council, state council, can give the punishment to the doctor, and that punishment can be in the form of penal erasure, and this penal erasure can be either temporary or permanent. Penal erasure means removal of the name of the doctor from the register. So for example, MCH, Maharashtra Council of Homeopathy, is giving you the permanent registration. If any complaint goes to the Maharashtra Council of Homeopathy against you, and if it has been proved, so MCH can remove your name from the register either temporary or permanent. This process is called as penal erasure, and it depends upon the gravity of offense, severity of the offense. If it has been removed permanently, the means you are no more doctor now, you cannot work as a doctor, the condition is called as professional death sentence. Under disciplinary control, we have seen one term, professional misconduct. So examples, 2 or 3 examples of professional misconduct can be asked as a 2-mark question, that you will have to write these one by one. Then public duties, we have seen compulsory duties like issuing birth and death certificates, informing about the infectious diseases and notifiable diseases. In food poisoning, cases of repeated cases of food poisoning, who are taking the food from the same source should be informed to the governing authority or nearby health authority. Then industrial diseases, responsibility to the state, we have seen in detail. And voluntary duties, responsibility to the patient. Then okay, responsibility to the patient. Then public duties of a registered medical practitioner, like medical examinations, operation, what care should be taken during surgeries, and issuing of the certificates, medical legal examinations and certificates with consent, proper consent. Then post-mortem examination, it should not be done without the proper authorization. In medical legal cases, it can be done only after authorization, and post-mortem examination should be done for scientific purpose only. Professional secrets, we have seen in detail about professional secrets and communication. There are so many things which you will come across. There are so many things which you will come across while examining the patient, or while taking the history from the patient. So whatever the information you will get from the patient about his mental condition, his nature, his family background, about his certain illnesses, you should not disclose it to anyone. So whatever you have learnt in confidence from the patient during case taking, or while doing clinical examination, that should be completely kept secret, or it can lead to legal problems to the doctor. But there are certain conditions where these secrets can be disclosed. This can be disclosed in front of the court, or as a moral or social duty, or responsibilities in criminal matters. That I have given you all the example. We have seen it in detail. When a court will ask you to give such explanation or information, you will have to expose it in front of the court. Then as a moral or social duty to prevent the spread of the disease, like any venereal disease, in case of AIDS, you will have to disclose it. In the criminal cases, all the cases of firearm or stab wound where attempted suicide or homicidal injuries are seen, or the injuries which are suggestive of some attack or some criminal violence, they should be informed to the police. Then professional negligence, we have seen act of omission, act of commission can be asked as a 2-mark question. Then the damage can be physical, mental or financial. Then professional negligence, we have seen all the details of professional negligence, civil and criminal, all these will go to the court. Malingering, we have just seen that the person is making a show that he has got some serious injury, either to get leave or to get compensation or blame someone. Then contributory negligence, we have seen the contributory negligence, that is the negligence on the part of doctor as well as patient. If the patient is not following all the instructions given by the doctor, it will come under contributory negligence. Vicarious responsibility, the master is responsible for the negligent act of his servant, or the junior staff, or ward boy or nurse. If they commit any mistake in the treatment of the patient, that staff will not be responsible, but the head or that master of that hospital will be responsible and will have to face the legal issues. Okay, so here we have finished with this medical ethics, medical etiquettes, and all the important laws and legal things related with the medical practice. Okay, we'll stop here.